What's good, YouTube? American RX at it again. Another thriller. Shout out to my subscribers. Yeah, so I wanted to build a little bit on Albert Pike and the Prince Hall Masonry, and you know the effects of this society that they have on our people, and the secret, and that's the misleading of our people. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be a part of something that historically is not for our people. You know what I'm saying? It's always been this society was always this society didn't even want to assimilate with our people, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Because the original founders of this Freemason, they have no love for the original people of the land. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna be speaking about, right? In this series, right? So let's build. So I'm gonna start with Albert Pike, right? And who he is and what's his role in this Freemasonry, in terms of how it affected our people as Indians and what they did to, kill the people on paper, you know what I'm saying? And rewire them into a different mental state of not knowing who they are. So I'm gonna start with Albert Pike, all right? Albert Pike was American. Albert Pike, born 1809 to April 12, 1891, was an American author, poet, orator, jurist, and prominent member of the Freemasons. He was also a senior officer of the Confederate States Army, who commanded the District of Indian Territory. Okay, so he commanded the District of Indian Territory. Right, during the American Civil War, most of what is now U.S. state Oklahoma was designated as Indian Territory. It served as an unorganized region. Right, so this was a part of the whole Indian Removal Act. Okay, this is where they plot to remove us and kill us on paper. Okay, just to let you know. Okay, relocate. So that's Albert Pike. All right. So in the Trans-Mississippi Theater of the American Civil War. Okay. Early life and education. Albert Pike was born in Boston, right, Massachusetts, on December 29. Pay attention, Boston, Massachusetts, all right. On December 29, 1809, son of Benjamin and Sarah Andrews. Pike spent his childhood in Byfields, Newburyport, Massachusetts. His colonial ancestors settled. Okay, his colonial ancestors settled area in 1635 and included John Pike, 1613, 1688, 1689, the founder of Woodbridge, New Jersey. Okay, he attended school in Newburyport and Framingham until he was 15. In August 1825, he passed the entrance exam at Harvard University, though when the college requested payment of tuition fees for the first 2 years, he chose not to attend. He began a program of self-education, led to becoming a school teacher, Gloucester, right? Not Bedford, Fairhaven, and Newburyport. Pike was an imposing figure, 6 feet tall, 300 pounds, with hair that reached his shoulders and a long beard. In 1831, he left Massachusetts and traveled west, first stopping in Nashville, Tennessee. Okay, St. Louis, Missouri. There he joined expedition to Taos, Mexico, devoted to hunting and trading. During the excursion, his horse broke and ran, forcing Pike to walk the remaining 500 miles to Taos. After this, he joined trapping expedition to Dano Estacado, New Mexico. Trapping was minimal, and after traveling 1,300 miles, 250 on foot, he finally arrived at Fort Smith, Arkansas. Right? Pike's relative Jacob married Bettina Jones' daughter of the chief, right, of Choctaw Nation. Okay, so pay attention. Jacob and Bettina's son Benjamin M. Pike was fluent in several Indian dialects. He served as representative between Native American tribes, right, in Oklahoma and government of the United States. So you see how they do the takeover, right? They had to marry into the tribes to infiltrate it so they could cede it over to the United States of America, okay, or the United States Corporation, all right? Settled in Arkansas in 1833, Pike taught in a school and wrote a series of articles for the Little Rock, Arkansas Advocate under a pen name Casca. The articles were sufficiently well received for him to be asked to join the newspaper staff under Pike's administration. The Advocate promoted the viewpoint of Whig Party, a political volatile divided Arkansas in 1832. After marrying Mary Ann Hamilton in 1834, purchased a newspaper, right? So he also made several contacts among Native American tribes in the area. He specialized in claims on behalf of Native Americans against federal government. In 1852, he represented Creek Nation. Okay, so he represented Creek Nation for the Supreme Court in a claim regarding the ceded tribal land. Okay, in 1854, he advocated for Choctaw and Chickasaw, although compensation later awarded to tribes in 1856, 1857 was so insufficient. His relationships were to influence the course of the Civil War service. Additionally, Pike wrote on several legal subjects. He also continued writing poetry, a hobby he had begun in his youth in Massachusetts. His poems were highly regarded in his day. They are now mostly forgotten. Several volumes of his work published posthumously by his daughter, right? So he served in the military in the Civil War, right? So American Civil War. In 1861, Pike penned the lyrics to Dixie Arms at the beginning of the war. Pike was appointed as Confederate envoy to Native Americans. In capacity, he negotiated several treaties, all right? But the most important thing with Cherokee Chief John Ross. Look at the chief, okay? Pay attention. It was concluded in 1861 at the time. Ross agreed to support the Confederacy, which promised the tribes and Native American state won the war. Ross later changed his mind and left Indian Territory, but succeeded Cherokee government maintained the alliance. Pike was commissioned as a brigadier general on November 22, 1861, and given command in Indian Territory. Right, so he was commanding. They negotiated treaties, right? Pike trained 3 Confederate regiments of Indian cavalry, most of whom belonged to civilized tribes. Attention, whose loyalty to Confederacy was a variable, although initially victorious. Battle of Pea Ridge. In March 1862, Pike's unit was defeated after a counterattack after falling in disarray. Pike was ordered in May 1862 to send troops to Arkansas. He resigned in protest. The previous war, Pike came into conflict with superior officers, one time drafting a letter Jefferson Davis complaining about the Rex superior. At the Pea Ridge, Pike was faced with charges that his Native American troops had scalped soldiers in the field. Right? Also charged Pike with mishandling of money, material, ordering his arrest. Both these charges were later found to be considered lacking in evidence. Nevertheless, Pike, facing arrest, escaped into Hills, Arkansas, sending resignation from the Confederate States Army. On July 12, he was at length arrested on November 3rd under charges in subordination and treason at briefly Warren, Texas. His resignation was accepted on November 11, and he was allowed to return to Arkansas. Right, Pike first joined the Fraternal Independent Order Oddfellows in 1840. He next joined Masonic Lodge, where he became extremely active in affairs of organization. In 1859, he was elected Sovereign Grand Commander of Scottish Rites, Southern Jurisdiction. Remained Sovereign Grand Commander for the remainder of his life, a total of 32 years, devoting a large amount of his time developing rituals of the order, notable published books called Morals, Dogma, Ancient Accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Okay? So, another thing I want to bring to your attention, right, is Prince Hall Freemasonry, right? Beginning of Prince Hall Freemasonry in North America. Black Freemasonry began when Prince Hall and 14 other free black men were initiated by members of Lodge number 441, Irish Constitution, right? Attached to one of the General Gage's regiment, the 38th Regiment of Foot British Army garrison at Castle Williams Island, now Fort Independence, right? Boston Harbor, right? Pay attention. 1775, the Master of Lodge in number 441, Sergeant John Bratt, along with Prince Hall. Others were Peter Freeman, Benjamin Tibber, Duff Buffhorn, Thomas Sanders, Prince Payden, Cat of Spain, Boston Smith, Peter Best, 14 Howard, Richard Taylor. There was some variance in spelling of names depending on the source. The British Army left Boston Lodge. 441 granted Prince Hall and his brethren authority to meet as a lodge and to go in procession of St. John's Day, right? So check this out. They could not confer degrees or perform any other Masonic work, right? They were also given authority to bury their dead. However, they could not confer degrees or perform other Masonic work. African Lodge number 1, organized in July 3rd, 1775, with Prince Hall as worshipful master, official acknowledged the legitimacy of African Lodge number 1 was made almost immediately by John Rowe of Boston, provincial Grand Master for North America, holding authority from Premier Grand Lodge, right? So what I want to pay attention to is here. By the end of the American Revolution, 1781, American predominantly white lodges had begun declaring independence from English Grand Lodge. They were not interested in granting charter to Prince Hall or African Lodge. Although the members of African Lodge number 1 were freemen, black men were automatically assumed by Masonic colonists to have obligations to masters. So in other words, they're saying because they are of the darker hue, they're trying to say they're slaves because they're dark, right? Thus, predominantly white lodges in America were not interested in reciprocal recognition of African Lodge, nor were they interested in bringing them under their jurisdiction. So tell me now, you so-called black Masons, how do you find yourself in a lodge when the founders of the lodge don't want you in it? Also, what I wanted to show you too, check this out. Yeah, check this out. Lodge 80. Well, this is what lodge number 9. You have Jesse Jackson. Okay, he's a Freemason, as you could see. And then you have Al Sharpton in lodge number 55. And all your major players in this whole black movement, they're all Masons, all right? Scottie Pippen is a Mason as well, okay? The black governor, everything that's black, they're all Masons. These are the people who push this Black Lives Matter, all right? Gets you nowhere.